Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Woo, we have two defendants in the courtroom today. Yes, I said it. Two defendants. It would only be official if I'm wearing the Heaven Hill shirt, right? So I had to throw on my Heaven Hill gear for this double episode, double judgment of the most recent C923s, right? So we have Larceny C923 coming in at 126.4. We have the Elijah Craig barrel proof coming in at 133 proof, aged 13 years and 7 months. So, all right, double review. We're gonna have fun with this. We're gonna start with the Larceny because it's at the lower proof point, the 126.4, and let's have a little bit of fun. Fair? All right. So I need to give a huge shout out to one of my patrons, my good friend Chad Bear. So Chad was like, Judge, hey, I know you want to try to get, the C923s for both Elijah Craig and Larceny on the channel. He's like, I've seen them out and about. I know where I can get them. And Chad hooked me up. So Chad, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Kind guy. You want to talk about like delivery. Chad even dropped them off at my house. I shot him some money via Venmos. I paid him. Man, I am so grateful and thank you for my patrons. Thank you, Chad, as well as all my other patrons as well. But yeah, Chad, you found these, man, so I have to give a huge shout out to my buddy Chad. So thank you again, my man. All right. So both of these, I'll tell you the price point for both of them. They were $79.99, so $80 on the dot, which is for the most part the going rate for Elijah Craig as well as Larceny. When you think about it, would you probably find it for a couple of dollars less? I'm sure you will. Maybe certain places, maybe even a couple of dollars more. But on average, you're probably going to find Elijah Craig barrel proof and Larceny barrel proof anywhere from like that $70 to $80, $85 range. It's going to vary, right? Every single state is going to vary. I'm going to go ahead and pour these. So these are going to be fresh cracks. So it's going to vary based off of where you live. One thing that's unique is that, again, I could not find these by me in Delaware or even Maryland. So Chad was able to find these, I think, like in North Jersey somewhere. So he was able to grab them. And then was kind enough to even do a hand delivery, which is awesome. So, again, I appreciate my man Chad. I know, though, when I've asked a lot of people, like, Judge, we've been looking for Larceny barrel proof or the Elijah Craig C923, and we can't find them anywhere. So it seems like for the most part, these are actually, even though they just came out in September, they're still pretty much kind of behind in terms of like, being out and being readily available for the most part. So obviously they're in northern New Jersey, but for the rest of the US, who knows? I'm gonna pour both of these. All right, so what else do we know? So these both obviously sub-brands come from Heaven Hill. They come out 3 times per year. The A comes out in January, the B comes out in May, and then the C comes out in September. But as I just said, even though they come out in those months, they just start to hit distribution. By the time it actually gets to certain markets, it might not be until 2, 3, 4 months later. So I was fortunate to actually get the bottle that actually came out in September, only because of my good friend and my patron, my buddy Chad. All right. Let's go ahead and pour these. So what else do we know about Elijah Craig and Larceny? So Larceny, of course, is the wheated bourbon. The secondary ingredient in the mash bill is wheat. So it's a wheated bourbon. So let's go ahead. Let's start with this one. So C923 of Larceny coming in at 126.4 proof. Fresh cracks. Let's see what we got here. 2 separate judgments as well. All right. Normally I like to let the bourbon kind of air out a little bit, but I was so excited to get this. Got it from Chad, and I was like, you know what? I got to get this on the channel like ASAP. I mean, these are hot. I mean, they are literally hot releases that just came out. So very excited to try both of these. And when I think of Larceny, oh man. Larceny and Elijah Craig barrel proof are both like truly staples from the Heaven Hill lineup. I mean, some of the best whiskey that they produce come from these 2 sub brands. If you love a wheated bourbon, I think this one, even their small batch, is honestly also a very good bourbon as well. But this barrel proof, I mean, it's typically and traditionally a home run, a fan favorite by many. All right, C923 Larceny, let's rock and roll. Woo! Ooh. That has some fire to it, boy. Goodness gracious. What I love about this Larceny off the first sip, right? Fresh, just truly like a neck pour. What I love about it is a couple things. Number one, very quintessential Larceny barrel proof the wheated bourbon experience. In the nose, I had a ton of what I always normally get for me personally. A lot of like almost like a toasted raspberry kind of a note, or a toasted berry note kind of, if you will. Very much like the toasted kind of a darker fruit notes, like toasted like plums, blackberries, raspberries. A little bit of pepper mixed in there as well. Let's get a second sip, just to be safe. And all of that transfers to the palate. In the palate, what is this? 126.4. A little bit more pepper in the palate than I had in the nose. A little bit more pepper and slightly less those bolder, darker fruit notes in the palate. A little bit more pepper in the palate. Let me get a smidge more. Wow. Very nice. Very pleasant. Very good. So, question remains, Judge, is this a buy, a do not buy, or a split decision? The verdict is in. This is a buy. At $79.99, $80, this is a buy every day, all day. However, what I will say though, again, this is the neck pour. What I will say is that while I think this is excellent, very, very good, I don't think it's that much better than any other release. My personal opinion. I don't think it's that much better than any other release. So if you're hunting it, you're looking for it, pay the normal MSRP is what I will tell you. Do not go crazy and pay like double the MSRP because everyone says only the C batches are great. That's a little bit of craziness. Pay MSRP for this, but it's exceptionally good, but it's nowhere better, I think, in my personal opinion, versus B or even the A batch as well. Cool? All right. Now to the infamous Elijah Craig. Woo! Uh-oh. So Elijah Craig got a little bit of heat, literally heat, because, you know, recently they dropped like the age statement of has to be at least 12 years. They dropped that, right? So that was dropped. And across the US, in most states, in many states, everyone had Elijah Craig store picks. I mean, everyone. You can see them all day by me, right? Age 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Everyone had them. And then they decided to come out with Elijah Craig C923. What's different about that? Number one, the proof is 133, but more important, the age of this bad boy, yes, 13 years and 7 months. So even though they dropped the official age statement of being at 12 years, they added for this one, at least this batch, age 13 years and 7 months. That's pretty much, I think, Heaven Hill saying, you know what, everyone else out there, peace, step. I think that's what they're basically telling us, right? So it'll be very interesting to see how this one is, not so much in comparison to like even like the A or the B, but just in general, how does this batch release? How is it as a whole? All right, let's get into it real quick. Hey, before I do so, 3 quick easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts. Have you tried either the new Larceny C923 or the Elijah Craig C923? And if so, what are your thoughts? Last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell so you get a notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right. Let's dive into this C923. Whew! A lot of hype always about the C releases. Okay. Let's give this a little whirl real quick. Let's move this around a little bit. What do we have here? Ooh, very peppery. Damn. Woo! Jeez. That nose is just screaming fire. Very peppery. Oh, it's like a deep leather note. Deep leather, almost like a burnt brown sugar note, which I do often get from Elijah Craig, but not this like bold and like dark, burnt brown sugar note. Wow. Tons of pepper, Jeez. Tons of like dark leather, brown sugar, burnt brown sugar. Woo. That nose is extremely vibrant. Holy mama. And as you can imagine, definitely a good bit of oak in the nose as well. But the oak is actually offset in many ways by like those dark brown sugar notes and that leather note. It kind of offsets it a little bit. Whew. This is a bold ass nose. Jeez. All right. As we say in this courtroom, peace, cheers. Most important, friends. Salute. Let's see how this is. Ooh. Mmm. Ooh. Mmm. Wow. 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 Hold on. Let me get a little bit more. Mmm. Ooh. Mmm. Wow. That is what I think of when I think of Elijah Craig. That is bold. That is vibrant. It has, I love everything from the nose transferred to the palate. The oak notes from the barrel, for being there for 13, almost 14 years, 13 years and 7 months, offset by like those pepper notes, those deep, rich brown sugar notes, almost like a burnt brown sugar note, and the leather notes. Folks, if I'm giving you an honest verdict, that's not a buy. That's two gavel good. That is old school Elijah Craig. That right there, I'm pouring some more of. That is straight up legit. To me, that's what I like about Elijah Craig. It's bold, it's vibrant, and it just literally, I have hair on my chest. It is growing, like it's just growing. That is what I like about Elijah Craig. Every day, all day. This, oh man. Woo! So if you find both of these on the shelves, and you're like, Judge, I'm only buying one. Which one am I buying? I think you know which one. Right here. Literally, every day, all day. This is a special release, in my opinion. If you like the traditional, bold, knock you out, this can live in the, like literally, this can live in that bold, kind of like that Stag Junior kind of world, or now it's just Stag, whatever, because we got all fancy. This lives in it. This is the old school Elijah Craig, folks. Damn good. The nose matches the palate, and let's just say the judge, this is doing right in my courtroom. Cheers, everybody. Take care. Peace.